What is your American dream?
My American dream is to have all the people in this country unite under the fact no racism, no discrimination, no people that make billions when other people are suffering.
For that people to have honest conversations, to care about each other, and to have equal rights.
My American dream is an America where we fully engage the ideals of freedom, liberty, and justice for all people, not based on the color of your skin tone, your access to money and resources, your ability to pay your way through a legal system or a litigious process to obtain something like health care.
I hope America will be one day like Martin Luther King fights so hard for equality. We are all the same. We are all the same. There's no race, there is no nationality, nothing. We are created by God and we are all the same, and that's what we have to be in this country.
My American dream is that this truly does become a place where we can all coexist and have liberty and justice for all.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It's Bradshaw Live. Today is Thursday, August 27th. I can't believe we're almost at the end of August 2020. Please, God, can 2020 end? Let's just get through September, October, November, December, because I know 2021 will be so much better. Yo-Yo and Vanessa, how you doing? The two most beautiful co-hosts in town. I'm screaming.
I love that shirt, Yo-Yo. You get me every time.
Look at the new shirt, but you know what? Nesquik? New do. You get me with the new do every time. How's everything going, Vanessa? How's your day so far?
Good. It's been busy. But good. I brushed my hair today, obviously.
All right.
That's the reason for the new style.
Good and busy is always good. And Yo-Yo, no baseball hat today. What's up with your hair?
Oh, I did my hair. Thursdays are my long day. I have like a bunch of different shows I have to shoot, so I actually have to.
Is Thursday hair day? Is Thursday
yes.
Yo-Yo grooming
day? When I cut my hair. Yes.
Really? Do you cut your hair every Thursday?
I cut it like every 3 days, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are pretty boy things. I deal with that with the gentleman in my house. It's like crazy. It hasn't even fully grown back yet, and he's like at the barbershop again.
You know, they have a term for that.
See, I cut my own.
Do you consider yourself a metrosexual?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I take care of himself.
I take care of myself.
Are you living, Nesquik, with a metrosexual too?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he takes care of himself. Yeah, does his nails. Goes to he has like a mani-pedi lady. Like really? He only likes to go to that lady.
Oh, look at Yo-Yo laughing already. You have a mani-pedi lady?
Because he knows. Yo-Yo?
You have one as well. We went and got a mani-pedi together.
But I don't have a mani-pedi lady. I don't have a particular lady.
I don't have a mani-pedi lady. I don't have a mani-pedi lady.
I don't cut my hair every week, maybe like once a month.
But that's because you don't know how to cut your own. If you knew how to cut your own, it would be a different story.
You know what I really need to do is it's not even about cutting my own, because it's not like, I have like this big hairstyle. I just need a razor that'll go through my hair and go, meow. That's really all I need, right?
That's it.
All right.
That's simple.
Let's say hello to all the squad, the metrosexuals, and the beautiful people out there. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Sasha Ford, squad up. Jean-Pierre saying, hey. Romaine Sonia Bryan saying, hello. I said Elizabeth Francis. Joan Grant. Dip Fab. Cake Affairs. Squad up. Uncle Brad. Latoya Laddie. Squad up. Uncle Brad and family. Why do I feel Latoya Laddie or is it Latte? It's Latoya Latte or Latoya Laddie? or Latte Latoya. Maybe she owns a coffee shop too. Monica Stone, how are you? Althea Reed, Squad Up. Dawn Harriet, Jessica Leamy, Manny Aragaraj has a question. Hi, Brad. What is called determining eligibility based on totality of circumstances for adjustment of status? That is a poverty guidelines legal term. We'll get into that later. Remind me to answer that later. That takes longer than just a second. Squad Up, Carol Anderson, the Tiger. And who else we have here? Lorna Kerr with the question. We'll get back to you in a little bit. Arlene Dillon, Squad Up. Let's go over to YouTube. Louis Martinelli saying hello. Elizabeth Darby, Squad Up. Karen Reed, Brian Bartoli, how are you? Jalov, Jeremy Goldberg. It's Poetry Thursday. What's your problem? Brad will solve them. He's the man with the plan. Did that rhyme?
Poetry Thursday.
Did that rhyme for Jeremy this week? What's the problem? Brad will solve them. Yep. He's the man with the plan.
And man.
Yes, congratulations. His poetry is rhymes this week. Congratulations, Jeremy Goldberg.
Wait for Poetry Thursday. Love it.
He works very hard on it. He
does. And he comes, he's very consistent. Comes with it every week.
Yeah.
Most importantly, when I used to see Jeremy in the office before COVID, he's working from home now. He would always come in extra tired on Thursday. And I wondered why he didn't get any sleep Wednesday night through Thursday. His eyes always look red. His hair was never brushed. Was he like up all night killing himself on poetry?
The secret is out. The secret is out. That's exactly what he was doing.
I don't know.
Sorry, Jeremy. We done found out your secret.
Elizabeth Jusa, Squad Up. Damian Dawkins, how are you? Miss Sunshine, Tamika Walker, Ahibi. Also a poet in his own name, Ahibi. Mr. Skyline, hey Brad, did you go topless hiking today? No, I said it's next weekend, Labor Day. But Mr. Skyline is obviously paying attention to everything. And of course,
skipping a beat.
Folaki Ika Juwan saying hello. All right, Vanessa and Jonathan, before you remind everybody to share, I do have to remind everybody that later I'm going to be introducing the co-founders of Team Brownsville, a group of volunteers who give humanitarian aid to asylum seekers at the U.S.-Mexican border. But at the present time, Jonathan and Vanessa, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do while I get ready for some schmoozing?
Absolutely. All right, everybody on all social media platforms, I need you guys all to join the Facebook fan page. This is the Brad Squad on Facebook. So this is very easy and it helps you out a lot, especially if you guys are a VIP member at heart. I need you guys to become a VIP member on the actual page. So all you have to do is go into search and put Brad Squad and it will pop up. You will all you have to do is click join and we will accept it. All right. The most important thing that you guys get from that is you will be able to put your questions in anytime throughout the day and we will ask those first 5 questions before any of the questions we get during social media check-in. All right, now everybody on Facebook, you already know what we have to do. We have to share. You guys have all the power in these fingers. Sharing is caring. All you have to do is click that little arrow that's pointing to the right, share it to anybody's page, share it to an inbox, share it in groups, copy the link and send it in a text message blast. This is the only way we can really get the show out. All right, we're doing our part here. All you have to do while you're sitting down, wherever you're sitting and watching, all you have to do, please, I cannot beg enough and I cannot tell you how much this actually helps this show get to the entire world. You see how we get calls from everywhere. That's because of you. That's because you guys actually share it. So please, when you share it, let us know in the comment section. And also, big up everybody. Big up the squad. Be like, yo, like we used to do back then. Hey, everybody, I need y'all to share. All right, we missed that. All right, now also put in all your comments in the comment section and also the questions because we will be going into social media check-in soon. And also, of course, we love interactions. So like, love, smiley face, wow face, mad face, whatever emotion and emoji you feel, throw that onto the video. Now, that's quick. What are we going to do on YouTube?
On YouTube, squad, if you haven't already, you should already be subscribed to our channel and make sure you turn on the notification bell so you know when Brad's show is live Monday through Friday. And just like Yo-Yo said on Facebook, you can also share this live stream right now. So right below, you'll find an arrow that'll say share, and it'll give you so many options, so many great places to share this. You can send it as a text, send it on WhatsApp, on Twitter, Facebook, Interact, Triple Fist. Just share, share, share. I also want to see a couple of more thumbs up, you guys. If we could just get those gray thumbs to turn blue, it just lets YouTube know that there are great things happening here on this channel. It also helps us build our engagement. So please make sure you share. It is so important. Brad is sharing so much value, so much knowledge. And by a simple share, you never know. As a text, as a WhatsApp, as a Twitter tweet, you were sharing this information with someone that didn't know it existed. And just by that, you're helping someone else out there get the answers to their immigration questions. We're also on Instagram at Brad Show Live, so make sure that you follow us there and you like our latest posts where you'll find the best snippets of our show. You can also send us some questions into the direct message there, and you have to be following us because every now and again there's some great contests and giveaways on Instagram. So without further ado, let's get into some schmoozing with Brad.
All right, you guys know what today is besides Thursday, August 27th, 2020? Jonathan,
what is?
We're about to find out.
About to find out. It is National Just Because Day. And you know what National Just Because Day offers?
What?
It offers us the opportunity to do stuff just because. Now, feel free to celebrate this day any way you choose. Just because. Every day we all do things that are expected or required of us. Sometimes we even do things because we have to do them. We don't even know why we do them. We just do them. Well, on this occasion, on this particular day, we have a chance to do something without any rhyme or reason. It could be that there's an outfit at the mall that you're admiring. Go buy it. Why? Just because. Maybe you want to use a vacation day just to go fishing. Why? Just because. Because you can. Today, August 27, 2020, is National Just Because Day. You can do whatever you want. It actually started in the late 1950s. Joseph J. Goodwin of Los Gatos, California, created Just Because Day. It began as a family holiday and grew into an annual celebration. And here at Brad Show Live, we want to make Just Because Day as popular as Halloween. We want to make it as popular as Christmas. We want to make it as popular as New Year's. And why do we want to make it as popular as Halloween, Christmas, and New Year's? Why?
Just because!
Exactly. So Yo-Yo and Vanessa and I agreed that we were going to share some videos of us doing some stuff just because. Vanessa, I'm going to let you take it away. Tell us what you're going to be sharing with the squad just because.
I found some great submissions. I think you boys are going to like this one. I was in the mood to just be fed some cherries in the middle of the park, just because.
Oh.
Who's feeding you these cherries? Just because.
These are some of the women that I work with.
Some women you work with.
This is my team.
We're feeding you cherries in the park just because. Is there any other videos you would like to share with us, Vanessa?
Well, I'm all about beauty and fashion, so I want to show you guys how I can curl my hair in an instant. Just because.
Hey.
Just because. Look at you with the different hairdos. Just because. And Yo-Yo, what do you have for us, Yo-Yo?
I don't know if I can top
Just
that.
Because Day.
So there are videos of me online that I usually never talk about or share, but today I feel like sharing just because.
Okay, let's see what you want to share.
These are videos of me as a teenager dancing on Soul Train. I was 17 years old and one of the main dancers on Soul Train.
That's
so just
because you want to share it.
It does not.
Just because I want to share it today.
You know, Julian the TriCaster guy. Can you play that video one more time? Why?
See, this is why I don't share
just
it.
because.
The close-up one.
Let's do the close-up one. There he is. Oh, Yo-Yo, the move with the move with the shoulder down. The move with the shoulder down when he's going. Ugh. You gave one of those, right? He's doing. Right? Is that
I
what
was
you did?
17 years old, guys. I used to be one of the main dancers on Soul Train, so.
Julian, that
get all your laughs out now.
Julian, that was so enjoyable. Let's see it one more time, just because.
Golly.
There he goes, the shoulder down.
That move, the shoulder move.
All right, now I'm embarrassed because Yo-Yo actually has talent. Now, what I decided to share in honor of Just Because Day, I agreed about a year and maybe even 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I agreed to play a video I had locked in the vault. And what happened, why I locked this in the vault, we only played this once ever. We've never shown it on social media. Boy, that's like seashells. We've never shown it on social media. We played it once, never again. It was literally locked in the vault. And this was a time when I lost a bet to the squad.
Yes.
I lost a bet. I made a bet with the squad that we wouldn't get a number of shares on that particular day. And I said, if we did, I will twerk for everybody. So this is the time I twerked after losing a bet with the Brad Squad. So I lost Truth or Dare to the Brad Squad, and everybody dared me to twerk. What people don't realize is I twerk all day. It was no dare at all.
Go, Brad! Twerk, 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 twerk! Get your back into it! Twerk! Twerk, twerk, twerk! Yeah, Brad, twerk for the breakfast! Twerk like Nicki Minaj, Brad! Twerk like Nicki Minaj!
Clean the barbecue, I'll clean the barbecue.
Okay, but really work it! Twerk it! Twerk, twerk, twerk! Go, get lower! Yeah, that's it! Got it!
I followed through. I told you I was going to twerk. I twerked. You shared 500 shares. You got me twerking. All right.
I must say though, the Nicki Minaj side by side.
Yes.
That's a tough rumble.
I'm going to tell you something. You know.
It's in the back, Brad, and you got it, boy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
I'm a professional dancer. You got it.
I don't. Come on. It's in the hips.
Right,
I don't.
Side by side.
Side by side. It looked actually.
Nikki,
quite frankly, it looked like I was relieving myself in a pool more than I was twerking. But you know. But I decided to twerk. Why? Just because.
Just because.
And ladies and gentlemen of the squad, I have to tell you something. We got to make Just Because Day a national holiday every day on August 27th. As long as Bradshaw is live on the air, we will be doing something just because. All right. Meanwhile, last night was the night 3 of the Republican National Convention. Vice President Mike Pence and Kellyanne Conway were among the headlining speakers. As reactions to the event in Kenosha unfurled, Pence used his vice presidential nomination acceptance speech to make a familiar call for law and order. He criticized Joe Biden for acknowledging the racism in America's police departments and said Biden's policies would lead to unsafe streets and violence, never once mentioning Jacob Blake, the black man killed. He was not killed. He was unless he died today that I don't know about. But he was shot by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Pence also offered a response to Biden's criticism of the Trump administration's handling of the pandemic, vowing that that a safe and effective vaccine will be ready by year's end and everybody will be okay. And then Kellyanne Conway, our favorite woman from the second most dysfunctional family in America, claimed that Donald Trump elevated women to senior positions in business and in government. He confides and consults in us. He respects our opinions and it insists that we are on equal footing with the men, unless, of course, he's grabbing them by the what?
Oh,
yep.
Unless he's grabbing them by the, because he doesn't grab men by the testicles, right? He doesn't grab men by the testicles, but he definitely grabs women by the meow.
yes.
Now, second lady Karen Pence, who Trump has never grabbed, and Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnary joined Conway in attempting to frame Trump as someone who's going to stand up for you, the common man.
Right. That's exactly who he's standing up for today.
Right.
And every day.
You know what he's standing up for? All the rich cats at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Meow! I was giving Julian another meow. You know what he was standing up for? All the rich cats. There we go. All the rich cats in Mar-a-Lago.
Those are all the cats in Mar-a-Lago.
All the cats in Mar-a-Lago. That's what he's standing up for.
Paying less taxes than all the rest of us.
Why do we have so many different cat sounds?
I don't know. That's very, of all of the sounds that we have saved, okay, we have multiple cats. Multiple. We have a litter of cat sounds.
Different cats. Right, get it together.
Meanwhile, well, it's just National Just Because Day, so you know what?
Right.
We're gonna
we can laugh just because.
Cat sounds all show.
Just because.
Just because. Now it turns out, by the way, we talked about this yesterday, that Trump naturalized 5 immigrants to become U.S. citizens on national TV at the White House. And he turned a naturalization ceremony, which is a civil government function, into a political event. Nonetheless, this political event was just not political. It was at the Republican National Convention. Turns out that some of the immigrants who took part in Trump's naturalization ceremony during the second night of the Republican convention on Tuesday didn't even know that they were on television. It was an obvious effort by Trump's campaign to cast him as a pro-immigrant president after 3.5 years of anti-immigrant policies. But at least 2 of the 5 citizens, the new citizens, were not even told that they were going to be on television at the convention, according to the New York Times. The decision by Trump's campaign to feature the naturalization ceremony angered some officials with the USCIS. Barbara Strack, a former chief of the Refugee Affairs Division at Citizenship and Immigration Services during the Bush years and the Obama years, this is somebody who served both Republican and Democrat, said, "It's one of the things that shouldn't be politicized, and you can hardly get more political than your partisan political convention," which is basically what I just said. Some good news on the immigration front, because as we talked about yesterday, Yo-Yo and Vanessa, Trump just makes rules all the time. And nobody says anything unless he gets sued. So this is basically, and this is not just in immigration, it's across the board on everything. And we talked about this yesterday. He does it until somebody sues him and says, that's illegal, you can't do it. Well, when Trump became president, he changed the rules about becoming a citizen after you join the military. Previously, as soon as you joined the military, as long as you had a green card and you continued to honorably serve on day 1, you were able to file for your citizenship. That's what the rules say. But Trump changed it. He said that you have to be serving at least as a member of the armed services for 6 months or even a year before being eligible for expedited path to citizenship. Now, the American Civil Liberties Union sued Trump. They represented a class of thousands, not hundreds, thousands of lawful permanent residents who were born in another country who are serving actively in our military right now. And the matter revolved around the Department of Defense policy signed under the Trump administration on October 13th, 2017, which lengthened the time to a recruit must serve before receiving a certificate of honorable service, which is the requirement to get the expedited citizenship. Previously, the eligibility for that certificate began on day one. The change lengthened the time in service to 180 consecutive days of active duty or 1 full year in the reserves. But now, under the ruling by Judge Ellen Hovell of the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, the Department of Defense has to give that honorable certificate of service on day one. It is going to allow our military, people who were born in another country who are serving America, defending America, to become a U.S. citizen. How is this a guy who's patriotic? How is that
we should
how is that patriotic?
vote for, apparently.
Go get killed for our country. Put yourself in harm's way. We're not going to make you a citizen for a while.
I mean, it's easy for someone who has never fought in the war, who claims that he did. So
he had bone spurs, so he had a very valid, excuse.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't know what it feels like to actually fight for the country and like come back and just be like, hey, you can't be a citizen.
By the way, I was being facetious because he got his medical exemption. He got his medical exemption for bone spurs from a chiropractor. What does a chiropractor know about bone spurs in a foot? That's
wow.
He's also a guy by the name of Joe Shapiro allegedly took his SATs. So he's been cheating and lying to get into college
for years.
To avoid
whole life.
His whole entire life.
Avoid serving.
This is the guy who's our president.
But this is our president.
I mean, it makes me question, should I always do right? Damn. He does wrong his whole life and he's a billionaire and the president.
All right. Meanwhile, the NBA is going to go back. It's going to start playing again one day after they had a boycott. It was not a strike. It was a boycott. A strike is when workers withhold their labor to better their working conditions. A boycott is when consumers withhold their money to protest a company. Yesterday, the Bucks were scheduled. And by the way, this is not a boycott. I got it wrong. This was a strike. My apologies. Yesterday, the Bucks were scheduled to play Game 5 in the playoffs against the Orlando Magic, but they never came out on the court. Instead, they called for justice, demanding that the officers be held accountable, denounced Wisconsin lawmakers for months of inaction and police reform. On the day that the NBA decided not to play and go on strike in the Republican National Convention, the shooting in Wisconsin wasn't even mentioned. What was also not mentioned was the vigilante who came from Illinois, a 17-year-old boy by the name of Kyle Rittenhouse. He received water from the local Wisconsin police. He received praise from law enforcement. He was allowed to roam the streets after the boycott. Nobody was saying anything to him. And this was all before his alleged shooting spree that killed 2 people and seriously wounded a 3rd. Rittenhouse, who was seen firing rounds at protesters in the street Monday night, appears to be part of an extremist militia group that set up shop at a few places in town, including a car dealership where cameramen caught him on film. In the video, he's standing guard at the facility with another rifle-bearing man, and they both say they're locals doing their duty. They're going to help the police. They're going to shoot people. That's their duty. Shortly afterward, the camera catches a few armored police vehicles rolling by and seemingly telling this militia group to move south. They did not tell him to go home, as they were telling all the other protesters at the 8 p.m. curfew. The cops did, however, give them a few water bottles in case they were thirsty. Rittenhouse runs over and interacts with some of the officers to retrieve some water. He retrieves the water not only for himself, but for his crew of militiamen. And you could even hear a cop say they appreciate what these guys are doing. Rittenhouse and the other armed civilians shown in the videos with him were violating, at this point, the 8 p.m. curfew. And at age 17, and not even a resident of the state of Wisconsin, he was not legal to openly carry a gun.
Wow.
Rittenhouse allegedly shot 3 people. Gage Grosskreutz, 26, who is expected to survive. Anthony Huber, 26, dead. Joseph Rosenbaum, 36, dead. These were, by the way, not people, these were normal people who came out and said, this is wrong, because a black man got shot in the back. And I think we should post those photos again. These are people's lives who got lost.
I'm so stuck. I didn't know that the weapon wasn't even legally purchased. Like, he wasn't licensed to have that weapon. He's
licensed in the state of Illinois, perhaps,
but where he was at.
But you can't carry guns across state lines. You have to have a license in Wisconsin to carry a gun. You have to have it.
But no one said anything.
You can't take a gun from Illinois to Wisconsin. And you have to be 18 years old or over to have an open carry in Wisconsin anyway, even if Wisconsin has some bizarre law that you can carry in guns from other states.
And it's insane to me that cops literally are more afraid of my black skin than a 17-year-old white man with a rifle. A 17-year-old white man with a rifle can be walking down the street, walking right past the cops and not get shot. But me being unarmed and being a black man because of my black skin, I could get shot.
You're right. And I'll tell you what happened. Right afterwards, there's video of this. He ran up to the cops. He put his arms up in the air. Other protesters said, that's the guy.
I heard this. And they let him go.
And not only was he not stopped, not only was he not questioned, not only was he not apprehended, he just kept walking.
Yep.
Now, during the Kenosha Police Department's first press conference in response to the Blake shooting, Chief Daniel Miskinis seemed to blame the victims for their own deaths, saying the violence was the result of the persons involved violating curfews.
There's like a long list of things that went wrong here, like a very long list, yet it's not a conversation.
Now, Rittenhouse, he's 17 years old. He was charged with murder. And a little bit about this kid. He lives in Illinois. I don't know why he has a gun. He was bullied, according to news reports. He was bullied in school. He appeared front row at a Trump rally in January. Now, when he was bullied in school, his mother sought an order of protection from police back in January 2017, claiming that a classmate of her son's had been threatening him and calling him dumb and stupid. Now, the superintendent for the school district said in a statement that Rittenhouse attended Lakes Community High School for a semester, but did not enroll afterwards. He had participated in cadet programs with both the Antioch Fire Department and the Grays Lake Police Department. Here is a boy, 17 years old, not yet an adult, not yet able to form his own opinions, considered a minor. Just a year earlier, his mother had to go to court to get a judge to get a school to stop him from being bullied. He wasn't even able to protect himself or socially integrate into a school. It's to the point where the mother had to go to court. So how is this boy allowed to have a gun?
You know what? All of that, I don't give a goddamn about none of that shit that you said. We all get bullied. I hate the fact that whenever something like this shit happens, everybody tries to victimize this kid. This kid is a terrorist. He is a white supremacist. It doesn't matter what his age is. Doesn't matter. The people that bullied him at the school were not the people that he was shooting at the protest.
I agree with you.
Pish tosh applesauce, take his ass to jail. all of that.
I agree
because
with you.
they wasn't trying to victimize Trayvon Martin when he was a young teen that got shot for literally just going to get a candy and iced tea. But then they tried to say, "Oh, he smokes weed." So what?
I didn't say. 1 second. I didn't say that I'm giving him a pass because he was being bullied. What I'm saying is, how is a mother give this kid a gun?
She need to go to jail too. She need to go to jail too. But I don't care about the victimizing. We don't even need to hear about that. Just understand that. Throw all.
How does this kid have a gun? And Donald Trump, by the way, his campaign says, you know, we can't control the behavior of everybody who comes to our campaign rallies. But you want to know what you can do? You can stop the rhetoric. You can stop the hate speech because people listen to it and people believe it. So this comes straight from the president, who at the Republican National Convention has the entire United States watching, doesn't say anything about the shooting of Blake, and doesn't say anything about Rittenhouse killing 2 protesters who were protesting peacefully and seriously wounding a 3rd.
Wow.
That's not okay.
Make America great again, they say.
His new campaign rally, I think, is "Make America Great Again," which is grammatically incorrect anyway, because that means you never made America great
really?
The first time.
You would have had to make it the first time in order to want to make it great again.
Yeah, again. Yeah, so I when I heard that, I'm like, wait, that's not even grammatically correct.
Wait, who did Donald Trump get his SATs done by again?
Joe Shapiro.
We need to bring him back.
Yes.
Bring him back.
Bring him back.
Yeah.
All right, poor Louisiana. Hurricane Laura made landfill overnight in southwestern Louisiana. It's now a Category 5. There's so much going on here. More than 1.5 million people have been ordered to evacuate. In Texas, they plan to provide protective equipment and coronavirus testing at shelters. Louisiana has activated its entire National Guard. 23 people have already been killed in Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and the winds are in excess of 150 miles an hour. You know what, Yo-Yo and Vanessa?
What up?
Fact.
We gotta do wacky news from around the world. Let's at least end on it with a smile.
Thursday.
There I am.
In the safest place you can be.
The safest
place
I can be.
The safest place you can be going around the world.
I am in the safest place, in the middle seat of a biplane being piloted by Vanessa. Going around the world. That is the safest place.
I'm a little bit of a reckless driver, but I think I'd be a great pilot.
That is the
safest. Lord.
That's the safest place.
Save us now.
All right. So I don't know if this is wacky world news or hump day, but a man in Australia, he was caught showering at a car wash completely naked. Security footage shows the naked man covering his crotch with one hand as he grabs a water hose at Parkland's car and dog wash in Queensland. He then hands the hose to another man who sprays him down while filming the impromptu shower on a phone. Now, this nude dude is seen jumping up and down as he gets splashed before being chased out by the other man. Car wash owner Jeff Bowen said the chemicals coming out of the hose would likely have felt like a chili juice on your skin. He would be on fire. To do that, you'd have to be young and have some young skin. Whoops. The chemicals coming out of that hose to take filth and dirt off your car. And you're putting that on your body? It's got to burn, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
spraying them, though.
Through it.
Now, I want you to know something. We can't imagine that a man who would take a shower at a car wash would have much intelligence anyway. So I guess he gets what he deserves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So he did it. Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. Now, in honor of Just Because Day, or maybe not, a university in Germany, maybe I want to go there. Maybe Yo-Yo or Vanessa, you want to go there. They are offering $1,900 for doing nothing. The idleness grants, that's what they are called, are for Germans willing to abstain from activity as part of research for an exhibition on sustainability. The University of Fine Arts in Hamburg said applicants are free to choose their own form of idleness, an activity to abstain from, and a panel of school officials will choose the 3 best pitches. The architect and design theorist Friedrich von Bores, who designed the program, told local news, "Doing nothing is not very easy. We want to focus on active inactivity. If you say you're not going to move for a week, then that's impressive. If you propose you are not going to move or think, that might be even better." Yo-Yo, will go and make a presentation. I will have no tequila for 1 week. Where's my $1,900? That's what I am willing to abstain from. What would you, Vanessa, abstain from for your $1,900?
I really like the idea of not doing anything, but I think I'm too hyperactive to not do anything. But I think I'm kind of addicted to ice cream. So I'd let go of ice cream for $1,900. Big time.
And Yo-Yo.
Well, y'all know I cut my hair every 2 to 3 days, so I will not cut my hair for a week and not do it.
I don't think our applications would actually win. They would look at it. This guy doesn't want to drink tequila.
Why not?
No ice cream. He's not going to cut his hair. We've got to have better inactivity than that.
Right, we need more research. This isn't deep enough for our research.
All right. And lastly, because we got to get to our immigration questions. Lastly, this person seems to be a little smarter than our car wash person. In Ontario, an 11-year-old girl broke a Guinness World Record when she solved 30 Rubik's Cubes one-handed while hula hooping. Guinness said Sankavi Rathan of Mississauga solved 30 of the puzzles with one hand while keeping a hula hoop moving around her body, beating the previous record of 25. The record took Rathan less than an hour to break. One-handed. She said the record was ideal for her because she has limited mobility in one of her hands. Now, I want you to know something. If you watched my twerking video, I can't hula hoop. If you've ever seen my hands, they're small, and I don't even know if I could move a Rubik's Cube with one hand. And I certainly have never solved the Rubik's Cube ever in my life. She did it 25 times.
Are hard.
They're very hard.
Like, I had one, and I legit had to Google how to do it. There's like a whole like algorithm, there's a whole like equation math problem type thing. It's crazy. Like, for her to do it with one hand, and she already has only limited mobile use with the
one hand, and she's hula hooping, Yo-Yo, for a full hour. Imagine keeping that hula hoop up for an hour, dude.
I can't even do it 10 seconds.
I can't even solve a Rubik's Cube with 2 hands in 2 hours, 10 hours, or a year. All right, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do? We got to get to our immigration questions, guys.
Yes, all right, everybody, you already know what time it is. It's time to start your watch parties on Facebook. It is a very simple. All right, we've been telling you how to do it before. I think now there's a new way. So all you have to do is click the share. You still have to click the share, but now there's more options. You click on the more options, and it should let you know to start your watch party, okay? You guys have been doing it. Even though we showed this graphic right here, you guys have still been doing it. I saw my mom started it 7 minutes into the show. So I know you guys could do it, all right? Just like I said, go to more options and start your watch party. It takes the video from our page to your page. Don't only comment on that video, though. I saw some of you guys commenting on that video and thinking that you're commenting on the real page, which is our page. So make sure you come back after you start your watch party, all right? Now, Nesquik, what are we going to do on YouTube?
On YouTube, guys, you should already be subscribed, squad, and make sure you turn on that notification bell. But you can also, and let's see how we're moving over here. I need some more thumbs up. We have a lot of viewers and not enough loving for all the questions that Brad is about to answer for you guys. So you'll also find down below an arrow that says share. You can send it as a text, WhatsApp, email, Twitter. Spread the word, guys. Brad is about to answer your immigration questions live. And you never know when someone else is asking a question that one of your friends or family members needed the answer to as well. So be that person, be the connector, be that host, and let them know that this community is growing and they need to be a part of it. We are also on Instagram. Make sure you catch us there at Brad Show Live. And without further ado, let's get to it. Getting the answers to your immigration question.
Or Sunday, waiting over 1 hour to speak to me. Sunday, how are you? Sunday?
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Sunday. How are you?
I'm good.
You waited 1 hour. My apologies to you. That's a long time.
Oh, that's fine.
I hope I can help you.
Yeah, right. So I'm a green card holder, and my wife happens to be an asylum seeker. So I want to know if I can file I-130 for her, and at the same time file an I-148 for adjustment of status.
She's here in the United States right now?
Yes.
So she was inspected at the airport. What happened? How did she come to America?
No, she got asylum from Mexican border to the United States.
So she was paroled into the United States. How long have you been a resident?
Though my card is still fresh, I got my resident card in May.
Oh, wow. And how long have you been married to her?
We've been married for the past 10 years, but our certificate is, we have back in my country, we did a traditional marriage, which we don't have certificate for that.
Oh, I see.
Here we did marriage in 3 months now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to adjust her status. Well, she's an arriving alien. How was she admitted into the U.S.?
Yeah, she's an arriving alien.
If she's an arriving alien, certainly we can certainly look into it. Because as an arriving alien, she is at the border. I'm just thinking about this logically. I don't know if I've ever done it for a lawful resident, but logically speaking, she's still considered at the border. She was paroled in, so she would be eligible to adjust because priority dates are current for lawful permanent residents. You would certainly need a lawyer to make a legal argument on your behalf. But as I'm thinking about it, if she's considered an arriving alien, yes. Hold on 1 second. It's my opinion. I've never done it, but I think as I think through it legally, yes. Why not? All right, let's go to Bilal in Boston. Bilal.
Hello,
how are you?
Brad, how are you doing?
Good.
So I have a question regarding, I called you a few days back. Okay. So my wife is a U.S. citizen and I'm here on F1 visa doing my PhD. For 2019, our joint tax returns income is $26,000 US. So if we apply for my adjustment of status, so for getting the advance payroll and EAD card, do they look at the income situation or not?
They're going to look at your wife's income, and you said it was $26,000 a year?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the joint tax return, and for 2019, my wife didn't work, and it was the income earned by me by working on campus.
You would need a second affidavit of support from somebody else then. Because in order for your income to be considered, you have to show 10 years legal employment in America, which you can't. I don't think you're going to have. So because you don't have 10 years and your wife's not working, you would fail the first part of the affidavit of support, which is your spouse has to support you 125% above the poverty level, and that's why you would need a second affidavit of support.
Okay, and I have the query was that do they for issuing the employment authorization document, will they look at the income information
No, you're going to get a work permit even if nobody's working.
Okay, so the point is my wife has started working, and after 1 year, in the next March or April, she will
Is she working right now?
Yeah, she's working right now.
What is she doing right now?
She's a medical scribe, and the next year she will become a doctor.
Okay, great.
So the next year the income situation will improve a lot.
Yeah, so if you can show her income, hopefully they accept that. They look at the totality of circumstances.
So, like, I was looking. We were calculating that if they can issue
Let
the
me ask you a
employment.
question. Let me ask you. You don't have there's 330 million Americans or lawful residents living within the 50 states. You don't know one person out of 330 million people who will vouch for you and give you an affidavit of support? I find that hard to believe. I've never in my entire life found somebody who couldn't find somebody to do it. So you're going to file an adjustment, and you want my blessing to say it's okay. Maybe it's okay, maybe it's not. You're really, leaving yourself to the whims of an immigration officer. You're leaving yourself open to a denial. I'm not saying you'll be denied. I'm not saying you're going to be approved. You're right in that gray area. But I can tell you, if you get a second affidavit of support, you're not in gray area anymore. Just get a second affidavit of support. For sure, you'll get a green card.
But the problem is, we have asked some people, and they said
So ask more people.
No.
Ask more people. Tell your people when they say no, well, can you speak to my attorney or get an attorney? Speak to them, and they'll tell you it's no big deal. You got to have a friend. You got to have somebody somewhere.
We have asked a lot of people because if we would have been getting this second affidavit of support, we would have applied this in 2018.
You're asking me to tell you yes, it will be. I don't know. Your wife doesn't have any income last year. She has a job this year. Yes, she's going to be a medical doctor the following year. Obviously, you're in graduate school or getting your PhD, so you're going to make a good income too. So all of that is very positive. But the fact is, your wife has no income from last year. So they look at the totality of circumstances, and they're going to look at you. And if the guy likes you, he'll give you a green card. If he doesn't, you'll be denied. Why give them the discretion? That's all I can tell you. All right, hold on if you need help. All right, let's go to Victor in Pullman, Washington. Victor.
Hi, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for the good job.
Thank you.
I am a green card holder, and I have a daughter who just moved out of state. She has gone to college. Do I need to inform USCIS about a change of address?
Your daughter has a green card?
She also has a green card, yes.
I mean, the law says you're supposed to. I've never seen immigration do anything to you because you didn't. But yeah, go do it.
Okay. She will be coming back home in November, so I was just wondering, do I need to change the address or?
Well, if she's just going to college, that's not her permanent address. You only have to change her address if her domicile changed. Her domicile would be her legal permanent address. So her legal permanent address is still with you, Victor, in Washington. So until she permanently moves to wherever she's permanently moving, no, you don't have to change her address.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to Chichi in Los Angeles. Chichi.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Chichi. How are you?
Good. I think I spoke to you some time ago. I forgot to mention something to you. So can you hear me good?
I do.
Okay, so I met my husband in 2009 when I came to the U.S. To visit, and we dated long distance. And I came back 2010 and 2011 just to visit him. But 2013, I came back and we got married after 2 months in the States. So I don't know if if the 90-day rule is still gonna apply since I've been coming and going for 4 years before I eventually got married to him.
When did you get married?
2013, January.
I don't think so, but you would still have to wait here 90 days before you file your adjustment, based on what you're telling me.
Oh, sure. So I still had, because I filed already. I'm already a green card holder.
Oh, so then you have no problem. They gave you
I
a
was
green card.
thinking if it's going to apply when I go for my citizenship.
They can still look at it, but it's less likely. What I would suggest you do is have a consultation with us and just let's get your records and see what you said and when you filed and everything else.
Okay.
All right. Hold on 1 second.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Mariam in San Francisco, California. Mariam. Or Miriam.
Hello?
Miriam, how are you, Miriam?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What can I do to help you?
So I had a question regarding my immigration case. So I just recently filed for an adjustment of status without my husband because we got divorced. And he was telling me that he was going to go and then write a letter to immigration saying that it's a fraud marriage, even though like he and I knows that it's a real marriage.
Right.
So I was wondering if that would affect my adjustment of status or...
Well, are you adjusting or you're doing a condition or you're removing the conditions?
Actually removing the conditions.
Okay. All right. If you are in a bona fide marriage and you already got your 2-year green card, what I would suggest to you is if your husband is that vindictive, get a divorce. Immigration will consider anything except they're not going to consider much a letter from a husband because most spouses who write these letters after you get your conditional green card, as long as you have evidence that it's a real marriage, that letter would be highly discounted, especially if you come in with lots of documents to prove it was a real marriage. Perhaps they may interview your husband, perhaps, but the fact is, if you get divorced and you have documents to prove it was a real marriage, you will get a green card no matter what your husband says.
Okay. And also, would they look at my income level?
No one's looking at your income. Not to remove.
And my next question, is, sorry, I just knew that I was circumcised. I'm from Gambia. I just realized that I was circumcised from my mom. So I was wondering if I should submit an asylum case at the same time or just leave it.
You don't need to do any of that. You and your husband were in a real marriage. What you need to do is get divorced, file the I-751 on your own, say toodaloo to the jerk, and let him do whatever he wants and don't worry about it. It was a real marriage. You can prove it. You're divorced. You're entitled to a green card. You don't have to go through asylum.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right. Let's go to Sunday is back. Sunday. You have more questions? Don't worry about it. Real marriage. Maybe someone needs to speak to Sunday. He's been on hold. Someone also needs to speak to Chi-Chi, who's been on hold. Jill, can you deal with that? Sandra in Atlanta. Sandra.
Hello.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
I'm so glad to speak with you, Brad.
Okay.
I have always been listening to your show.
Thank you.
So my cousin has this problem with her immigration. Her husband, who has been working, all of his life, but he lost his job, and due to COVID, he took unemployment benefit, and now he just found out that he has some kidney issues, and as a result of that, he's trying to apply for disability benefit.
Okay.
So, what is the chance?
Chance of what?
They filed for citizenship.
That's fine.
And
you're allowed to lose your job and become a citizen. You're allowed to get sick and become a citizen. You're allowed.
No, he's a citizen actually. So he's the one filing for
what
her.
is it? What is the question? Is he's filing for you? I don't know what's going on in immigration. Well, you're asking for what?
My friend and her husband. The husband.
What does your friend want? What does your friend want? I understand the story. Is she applying for a green card?
She's applying for a green card.
Okay,
yes.
fine. All right.
And now he's about to apply for unemployment.
If he can apply for unemployment, he can apply for disability. She'll probably need a second affidavit of support.
Okay, so that will not affect anything, right? That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is, it would not. It's not something that is government assistance. There's nothing that you've told me which is government assistance. When you get government need-based assistance, that's when it causes you to be denied for not being able to support your spouse above the poverty level. Having a disability payment, having unemployment is not government need-based assistance, but he may be below the poverty guidelines and you would need a second affidavit of support.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to Siri in Fremont, California. Siri.
Yeah, hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I have a question. I have two questions. Like, right now I'm on F1 status. Right now I'm kind of like out of status right now. Hello?
Sir, you told me you have a question, and you've told me you're on F1 and you're out of status. I'm waiting for a question.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm married to a permanent resident, and like she's been waiting for her like oath ceremony. Like she passed the test. Like, yeah. So, is there any problem for me? Like, I'm out of status right now.
Well, there's a problem because you're out of status. You're subject to deportation and removal. As soon as your spouse becomes a citizen, you're going to file an adjustment immediately. You're just waiting for that swearing-in date.
That I have done already.
Any week.
I already have done the adjustment. Yeah.
Well, how did you do an adjustment if your wife's not a citizen?
When she was a resident, like it has been like 2 years. When she was resident only, I did that.
You were in legal status when you filed the adjustment?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so Siri, your problem is you have no problem.
Okay.
All right, don't worry, you're fine.
Oh.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
That's the person his problem is he thinks he has a problem when he has no problem. Let's go to Tia in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Tia.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Tia. How are you?
I'm good, and how are you?
Good. What can I do to help?
Okay, I got married probably around 2 months ago, but I applied for my husband's birth paper, but the name, his first name that he has on all his documents is not on the birth paper, only the middle name. And I wanted to file my document before October the 2nd, so
your husband's a
will that
citizen?
be a problem?
Your husband's a citizen.
Yes, yes.
Where was he born?
He's American.
Where was he born? In America, in the United States?
Yes, he was born in South Carolina.
So on his birth certificate, it says his first name and a middle name, but on all his other documents, he just goes by his middle name.
No, on his birth certificate, it just says the initial that he used as his middle name. Okay? But on every other document, he has a different first name with the same middle name and his last name.
I would need to look at the documentation, but I'm sure we'll be able to tell that his first name and middle name is the same person as the middle initial that you're referring to.
Yes, but that is what I'm afraid. I wanted to go ahead
you just can't just randomly file those papers where a birth certificate and all those other documents show different names. You can't just file it because there's going to be questions. Wait, this guy has a different name in his birth certificate than everywhere else. So it has to be explained. And it could be explained by affidavits, corroborating affidavits from family members or other additional documentation. I would have to look at it, but you just can't. So your gut instinct was correct. You can't file with documents that don't match. But
right, but he married before, and on his divorce paper has the same thing that his name that he's using
again,
now.
I'm repeating myself. You cannot file papers where one identity document doesn't match the names of other identity documents or documents to prove that you were legal. In other words, his divorce decree has his middle name and his birth certificate has a different name. You have to be able to prove that this guy and this guy is the same person. You just can't say, here it is. So
what should I do?
The answer is I got to look at it. And as I said before, and I'll repeat it again, sometimes you just do it by an affidavit from the person saying, my birth certificate says my name is Joe John Smith, and my divorce decree says John Smith. Joe John Smith and John Smith, I'm the same person. That's how I've always been known.
Okay.
And maybe you just do it just by his own affidavit. Maybe
let's make an appointment.
Let me finish. Maybe sometimes you have to get additional affidavits. Yes, I'll give you an appointment. All right, let's go to Stacy in Miami. Stacy.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Good evening. I'm good, thank you. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So my mom went down last December. She has a 10-year green card. The green card will expire December of this year. But since the pandemic, she went out of the country and she's high risk. So she doesn't want to travel back into the U.S. because of fear of the corona.
Right.
So I put the replacement for the green card in, but I'm not sure. Can she stay out of the country and apply to the embassy for travel when the green card is ready, or?
Well, how long has she been out of the country so far?
Since December of last year.
Yeah, well, she's already perhaps abandoned her permanent residence by being out of the country now for 8-9 months. What she would have to do when she's ready to come back next year is apply for something called an SB1 visa, which is a visa to say, I never planned on abandoning my permanent residence. I was scared of coronavirus. I still had a lot of my family in America. But you have to really travel every 6 months. After that, it's not apply for a green card in America. You can't even do a re-entry permit. You have to apply for an SB1 at the U.S. Embassy.
So if the replacement was already filed, would that make any difference?
No, because she's been out of the country for 8 months now already. And if the
Got it.
So that's the problem. Once you stay out of the United States for more than 6 months, the people at the airport, ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, have a right to determine whether or not you have abandoned your permanent residence. Now, I think in this day and age, they're going to give a lot of people a lot of problems. Also,
Right.
but you can go, to protect yourself when you're ready to come back to the United States of America, you can go to the U.S. Embassy and apply for an SB1 visa. And that way you don't have a problem at the airport. When you apply for the SB1 visa, you're saying to them, I never planned on abandoning my permanent residence. I was high risk for coronavirus. My daughter didn't want me to travel, but I still have all my family and I have my belongings and maybe a home, an apartment, a car, whatever you have here to show I was never planning on leaving America. It's not like I packed up and left. I still got a lot of stuff in America. I got my stuff there and I got my family there. And you got to show that you didn't have an intention of abandoning, but things, were, there was an something happened between the time you left and the time you want to come back. It's called coronavirus.
Right. What is it called?
Coronavirus.
What is the form?
Oh.
No, what is the form?
It's not a form. It's an application called SB1 visa.
SB1.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so very much. Have a great one.
You too. All right, let's go to Michael in Hawthorne, California. Michael.
Yeah, my name is Michael. Yeah,
Yes.
I have a question, please. Me and my spouse, we went for an interview in February, and ever since then, my status has not really been updated. I've not seen any letter from them. I don't know what's going on. Can that be the coronavirus?
Yes, it could very well be because of coronavirus. When did you file? Tell me again.
We went for an interview sometimes in January. Sorry, we went for the interview sometime in January.
Where was your interview?
Our interview took place in January.
Where?
In California. In California
All
here.
right. So
in
this
LA.
is the deal, John. Michael. I don't know why I'm calling you John. This is the deal, Michael. It could be because of coronavirus, but more likely it's because they didn't believe it was a real marriage and they're going to call you back for a second interview. The longer it takes for them to give you a decision, the more likely it is you're going to be called back for a second interview and have a Stokes interview. I don't know the exact reason why you haven't heard yet. It would be impossible for me to know. But if I had to take a guess, the number one reason, that's 9-10 months later, is they didn't believe it was a real marriage. Number two could be coronavirus, but I would say the number one reason is they don't believe it's a real marriage. They're going to investigate. They're going to call you back for a second interview.
Okay, do you people have office here in California if I have to use it before?
I don't, but I have an office in New York, and we will fly to California if necessary. So hold on one second, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go to John in Chicago. John.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Brad.
How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good, Brad. Thank you so much for this type of facility. So my question is like, I got married to a U.S. citizen.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm going to keep interrupting people from now on because every time somebody says a sentence more than 2 sentences, I don't say anything. They go, hello. I'm listening to you. I want to hear your question. I will answer it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got married to a citizen, and I just stayed with her for only like 20-30 days after our marriage because like it's been like too many problems. Too many like even.
What are the problems? What are the problems you're having?
Yeah, even she got into fight on me, and even she burnt all my marriage photos, everything.
When you say she got into a fight with you, tell me about the fight. What happened with the fight?
Yes, like one day, like I was like kneeling and praying, like in the bedroom. And she told I did not respond for her for almost like half an hour.
Wait, you were kneeling and praying, and what happened?
She was like calling me for like 2-3 times, but I did not respond.
Right.
And that's the starting point, and she started like going crazy, and then that's the starting point. It happened. And
what was the crazy? Tell me about the crazy, because I'm trying to see if you can qualify for a VAWA case, somebody who was abused by their spouse. What was the crazy?
Yes, she told me like you came from an Indian slums and many other.
Did she physically hurt you? Did she physically hurt you?
She threw a knife, but
she threw a knife at you.
Yeah, she threw a knife at me.
Why did she throw a knife at you? That she just doesn't. She just doesn't come into a room and you're praying quietly, and she goes choo, and throws a knife at you. What happened?
Yes, like even the day before, she already has a daughter, with another guy.
She had a child with another man.
Yes.
But why is she throwing? All right, John, you have somebody who is going to apply, and the reason I'm asking you these questions is this.
Yes.
And this is for everybody. Somebody who is going to apply for a VAWA case, an abuse case, and claim that their spouse is abusive, better have a credible story. What is a credible story? I'm not saying, John, these things didn't happen, but your story is like, woo, all over the place. Okay? So listen to me, John. A credible story starts with being consistent, saying something that makes logical sense, and saying something with details. So when you say, she just came in and threw a knife and was going crazy, that's just conclusory statements.
Because every day, like that time I was not working, and she used to write a schedule, like on a piece of paper. I want to do this, everything. Like she used to write everything on a piece of paper. And for that, I told don't do this. I told her not to do this again. But no, she never listened to me. And
John, she wrote a list of things for you to do on a piece of paper, and you said don't do it again.
No. I want to do everything for the day.
You need a consultation because we'll never get through this. Hold on. All right. What do we got? Where am I? In this Braducation, I answer the question, what happens when my temporary protected status expires? Let's watch. When your TPS expires, unfortunately, you go back to whatever position you were prior to you getting TPS. So if you were on a student visa and you got TPS, then presumably you would go back to student visa status. If you were on TPS and you were out of status when you got your TPS, then you would fall back out of status. If you were already previously ordered deported and you got TPS and TPS is over, you would go back to having an order of deportation and perhaps even a warrant out for your arrest. Every person who is on TPS should figure out what they're going to do once TPS expires and not wait for that time. All right, and by the way, if you didn't get your questions answered, we're going to go into our social media round in about 45 seconds or so. And so leave your questions in our social media, but you could also follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein, you can drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. You could also follow us on at Brad Show Live if you can't handle 2 hours of Brad and Yo-Yo and Vanessa, but you could handle 1.5 minutes of Brad, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa. At Brad Show Live on Instagram is the place for you because you get everything in a minute and a half or less. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa, what do you got?
Yes, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on all social media platforms.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
Now later, you're going to be introduced to the co-founders of Team Brownsville, a group of volunteers who give humanitarian aid to asylum seekers at the U.S.-Mexican border. But right now, we got to do something we like to call social media check-in. What do we got?
All right, Jamie Roberts on YouTube asks, how soon can I file to adjust my status after getting married? And my sponsor has only his 2-year conditional permanent residence. Is this a problem?
Yes, so you have to be in legal status or an arriving alien to be able to adjust your status as to marriage to a lawful resident. Otherwise, you have to wait until your spouse becomes a citizen if you're an overstay.
Chino Gao on Facebook. Hey, Uncle Brad, my immigrant visa fee payment has been received. It's been 6 months now, and I haven't received my green card as of yet. What should I do?
Hang out and wait. Nobody's receiving their green card. Oh, the immigrant visa fee, or they haven't been scheduled an interview?
She said my immigrant visa fee payment has been received. They said that they received it. Yeah, and he just hasn't gotten his green card as of yet.
Oh, so he already entered the United States with his immigrant visa. He paid for it. Call the 1-800 number and see what happened. It's very possible they mailed out the green card and it got returned to USCIS.
Okay, Missy Davis on YouTube asked, any pointers for someone with a pending asylum case who now wants to file an adjustment via marriage to a U.S. citizen?
Yes. File an adjustment, withdraw your asylum, live together with your spouse, have a financial relationship to prove a bona fide marriage.
Nathan Conrad on YouTube. When should we contact USCIS about immaterial errors in a I-130, I-485 form? Should we wait until after we get the EAD approval until the interview?
Wait for the interview. Or unless they give you what's called an RFE and they see these errors and then they ask for an explanation. But you just don't randomly file or write or call.
Okay, Maricela on YouTube asks, I'm petitioning for my husband. His case was accepted and we're going to submit the I-485. If the I-944 is not on the USCIS website, should we wait or send the I-485 without the I-944?
Well, send it without it if you can't get it. I'm sure they'll RFE you.
Okie doke. AP2DKH on YouTube. What is the fate of children under CSPA whose cases have been completed and documentarily qualified after proclamation?
That was a lot of letters. The person's name is Okie Doke. ABCD what?
Exactly. EFGHIJK on YouTube.
And then he also wants to know about the CSPA.
Yeah.
All
abbreviations. He speaks in code.
You want to know about R2D2 and C3PO?
May as well.
You might as well. All right. So he wants to know about the Child Status Protection Act. Children who are under the Child Status Protection Act are protected, but if they're going to age out, that's one of the exceptions for processing for green cards under Trump's proclamation. I believe that's his question. There's a lot of letters in there.
All right, Al-Hagi Job on YouTube asks, after hiring you, how long does it take to file a mandamus suit?
Within weeks, hopefully.
Erica Brown on YouTube. Do you believe the K1 visa is on a silent ban for the remainder of 2020? My approved application is stuck at NBC waiting for Jamaica. Do you think it's best to get married and apply for a sponsoral visa?
No, do the K1 because the immigrant, if it's already approved, I don't think they're on a banned K1s. I think the NVC is slow in everything at this point. So I would continue processing the K1 and see what happens.
Okay, Lorna Kerr on Facebook asked, my friend appealed his case because they said he only presented RFE. They sent him a letter in July 2020 saying to wait 30 to 45 days for an answer. Now the time has passed and still no answer. His lawyer seems to have no clue. What should he do?
There's no appeal. I assume it's well, there could be an appeal if it's an I-130, but if it's an adjustment, it's a motion to reopen. I'm not in favor of appeals or motions to reopen unless you're trying to save a priority date or trying to keep a child from aging out. Otherwise, I would withdraw that appeal, a motion to reopen, and refile again. It'll be faster.
So Awald Gene T on YouTube, I just got a denial notice recently, and the reason being is that I didn't provide the initial evidence. What should I do now?
Refile and provide the initial evidence.
Okay, Elon Cardi asked, I'm a U.S. citizen and my wife is in the process of getting our CR1 visa. Can she enter the U.S. as a tourist with ESTA while she's waiting for the interview? We are traveling together.
She can, but she's always running a risk that they believe she's coming to live here and they can turn her around and then she could have a problem.
Brian Bertoli on YouTube, after VAWA is approved and transferred to NVC, how long will it take to get an interview at my Queens, New York jurisdiction?
Well, if it's sent to the National Visa Center, then that means they're scheduling you to go home to pick up a green card. So you're doing this all wrong. If you're talking about the NBC, the National Benefits Center, and the I-360 is already approved, figure about 9 months from that time to get an interview, assuming that you concurrently filed with an adjustment.
Mary Duncan on Facebook says, hey, Uncle Brad, can my U.S. citizen spouse petition for my 12-year-old daughter while our I-130 and 485 is still pending?
Yes.
We had our Stoke
yes.
on January 3rd.
Yes. Yes.
Ariana T on YouTube, what is the totality of circumstances in determining iOS application?
You know, we were talking about
AOS application.
What's his name? Baral, who called from Boston, who was the PhD, and the wife is in medical school and just started working, but it's going to be a doctor next year. And I talked about that a little bit, and he said, well, and I said, don't you know anybody out of 330 million people to give you a second affidavit of support? The totality of circumstances is they look at everything and they make a determination whether or not you're going to be a public charge. So they look at your income, they look at your job, they look at the potential to continue your job. So when you're in that gray area, the best way around it is get a second affidavit of support. Totality of circumstances is they look at all the facts. That's what it means.
Okay, Anne-Marie Anderson on YouTube says, my 10-year-old has her green card interview in September in Jamaica. Is her case considered an emergency immigrant case?
A 10-year-old?
Yes.
Is the petitioner's a U.S. citizen? If the petitioner's a U.S. citizen, there is no emergency because she's eligible to come to America. If the petitioner's a resident, there is no emergency because she's not going to age out till she's 21. So the answer is not considered an emergency, but if the petitioner is a citizen, she should get her visa appointment anyway.
This one also comes from Anne-Marie Anderson on YouTube. My case is currently at NVC, but I'm in America on a visitor's visa. If I have a daughter who is a U.S. citizen, what can I do if I want to stay in America?
File an adjustment 90 days after your arrival.
Okay, Jay Pereira on YouTube asks, after my USCIS fee increase, what would be the concurrent filing fees for 485, 130, 765, and
I don't remember the new filing fees. I haven't memorized them yet, but you can look at them online.
Just tell them where can they find that at?
Go to uscis.gov. The new filing fees don't go into effect till October 3rd.
Okay. Pandora Bear on YouTube. I am submitting my N400. Is my stepfather my legal father if he didn't legally adopt me, or is my biological father my only legal father?
Your biological father is the legal father.
Yeah.
Okay, Orville Samuels on Facebook says, "Hey Brad, can I adopt my 19-year-old sibling and bring them to the U.S.?"
No, you cannot.
Damian Dawkins on YouTube. How do you seek asylum when you're in Jamaica as a gay person, especially when you're terrified by people here trying to kill you? Wow.
You have to get to an airport in America.
Okay, Lola Unstoppable on YouTube asks, can an undocumented person get a driver's license in New York?
Yes.
Mr. Skyline on YouTube. If Biden wins, will Trump's public charge rule go away immediately, or how long do we have to wait before they bring back the 1999 rule and get rid of Trump's public charge?
I'm sure it will come back pretty fast. I don't know the exact number of days. Will it be under 30 days, Magic 8 Ball? My sources say yes. Magic 8 Ball sources they have sources. This Magic 8 Ball in the Biden campaign says yes.
Okay, Arnett Slovo on YouTube asks, my sister had an interview more than a year ago and we haven't heard anything yet from USCIS. It was a marriage-based interview. Can she file under the new law that was given to Liberians because she is qualified?
Yes, but she only has 2 months left, so she better do it quickly. But she would have to withdraw her marriage adjustment and do it under the Liberian.
Okay, this one comes from Miss A and K on YouTube. I'm filing my VAWA case. My therapist diagnosed me as having an adjustment disorder. Should I file this document with my case?
You're filing an adjustment case with an adjustment disorder?
I'm filing my my VAWA case. My therapist diagnosed me as having an adjustment disorder. Should I file this?
I don't know what the psychological diagnosis adjustment disorder means. If it has a relationship to your abuse, of course. If it has nothing to do with your abuse, then no. The only adjustment disorder, I was going to make a joke about adjustment disorder, but psychological, let's not go there. Let's not go there. All right, last one, Yo.
Yeah. Adriana T on YouTube says, if your VAWA case got approved but you were denied your previous green card application, does that affect your case?
It depends why the previous green card application was denied. If it was denied because you have drug offenses, yeah, it will affect your case. If it was denied because you committed marriage fraud, yeah. If it was denied because you just didn't show up to an interview, no. So it depends what the reason is. All right. Team Brownsville is made up of volunteers who provide support to immigrants seeking asylum at the U.S.-Mexican border. I spoke to the co-founders of the nonprofit organization about the work that they do and the conditions they are seeing, particularly now, as asylum seekers must wait in Mexico as their claims go through U.S. Immigration Court under the Trump administration's migrant protection protocols. Let's watch. Team Brownsville was created by 5 close friends who took it upon themselves to assist immigrants seeking asylum at the border in their hometown of Brownsville, Texas, when no one else was. Today, the founders of the nonprofit organization join me to discuss their work. Welcome, Andrea Morris-Rudnick, Sergio Cordova, and David Lucio, and Dr. Melba Lucio of Team Brownsville. Thanks for coming on, guys. I appreciate it. Describe the city of Brownsville, Texas. This is where you guys are right now. What is Brownsville, Texas like, and what's the ethnic mix?
It's on the border by the sea. Ethnic mix is predominantly Hispanic, Mexican American.
Furthest south you can go is Brownsville, Texas. Border city is Matamoros, Mexico. And we had the last Civil War battle here in Texas, in Brownsville. So we're way down there.
And this is where the Rio Grande empties into the Gulf of Mexico?
Correct.
Right. Now, there is a bridge that goes over the Rio Grande. Is that what separates Mexico from the United States of America?
That's right.
Yeah, so describe what that's like, the logistics of that bridge.
Actually, in Brownsville, we have 3 international bridges. The Gateway Bridge is the one we've been crossing and helping because the immigrant camp is set up right across the Gateway Bridge.
And the other bridges are not used by immigrants to cross over as much?
They are, but there was enough area and land there where that's where the camp ended up being, in that particular bridge. But I would say the bridge is probably a quarter of a mile long.
Now, let's talk a little pre-Trump. What was the immigration policies like in your community in Brownsville, Texas?
Okay, pre-Trump, there was no metering.
What is metering?
Okay, metering is when people were not allowed to cross the bridge freely. Before metering, any person could just walk over the bridge and ask for asylum. When the Trump administration started, they put Customs and Border Patrol agents in the middle of the bridge. Anyone who has a passport or has the proper documents can cross. Asylum seekers are not allowed to cross.
And how do they limit the number of people that come on the bridge by metering?
They come to the middle of the bridge. If you're here to seek asylum, you are not allowed to cross. They put you on a list, on a waiting list, because they only wanted a few people to cross per day. When we first started going, there was about 20 people waiting to cross. And sometimes 2 or 3 or 4 days go by and they don't let anybody cross. So we never knew how many. We saw the list grow from hundreds to over 1,000.
Pre-Trump, they would apply for asylum, they would be allowed through, they would come into America, and then there would be some social services for them on the American side. Now, because they put people on a list, they're metering, they're telling asylum seekers to return back to Mexico and wait on the border on the Mexican side. Mexico was not prepared to provide social services for all the people who are basically sitting there on the border.
Correct.
That's
Right?
correct. Metering occurred way before MPP kicked in for us on the Brownsville-Matamoros border. So metering meant that people were told to wait on the list, and they would wait 2 or 3 months, and they would cross, and we wouldn't see them back again. I mean, it was a hard wait, and it was very difficult, but we really had no idea what was to come, because with MPP, it's indefinite wait. MPP was a policy that was put in place, started on the Tijuana, California border first, and it's migrant protection protocols is what it means. But the word protection is a misnomer because basically it's trying to prevent people who want to request asylum from coming into the United States. And so the aim is to never let them in.
What are the things that they are doing in the MPP program systemically to show you that the aim is never to let them in?
They set up court systems on the bridge itself. Right after you cross, they set up these tents, and that's their court. And so people are not allowed into the U.S. to go to the regular court system. There are these fake tents that they built, and the judges aren't even there. They are through a Zoom
video conference
doing here. And so our understanding is that less than 1% of the people that are going through those courts are actually giving asylum.
So it's basically the court is a tent on a bridge with a judge that's video conference through from another area.
Yep. And it's just a quick way to process people to not let them in and say that they went through a system which really is a fake system.
How did you guys all meet, and how did you decide that you wanted to start a program to help asylum seekers who are coming to this bridge?
We started because one Sunday morning, two years ago, I got an email from a friend, Mike Seifert, that they were needing help with asylum seekers in McAllen, Texas, in the bus station. And at that point, I called Sergio and Mike, and Melvin and I went with them to McAllen. We saw the need. We went to the nearest dollar store and provided, got all kinds of toiletries and brought them to the bus station. That's how we started. But McAllen is about an hour drive from Brownsville. We researched here in Brownsville, and the need was the same, basically. And really, the people that went above and beyond were Sergio and Mike and my wife, Melba, because they got on Facebook and they started telling people for the need, and it just snowballed. The thing with Team Brownsville is you have a lot of people that just want to help because they love people. It's the humane thing to do.
Where are they coming from mostly?
We have people from Guatemala, from El Salvador,
Honduras.
And these are all people who were returned back to Mexico, and now a year later, they're still at the border trying to come in.
Yes.
So they've been at this border now for more than a year, maybe longer.
Many of them have.
What are their conditions, and what happens after they don't get approved? They just still wait there?
They're giving their first court date when they come across, when they finally get their time to come across. And then they're saying, okay, we're going to give you a future court date 6 to 8 months later. During that time, you're going to get your evidence together and whatever you're going to get together to fight your case. But you're not going to come into the U.S. You're going to wait in Mexico. And so that's where they're waiting. And then sometimes they get a second court date, and then they say, okay, 6 months later, you're going to have your next court date. So go back and wait in Mexico.
And is Mexico doing anything to assist them or not really?
So we've been working pretty closely with the INM, which is the Mexican equivalent of what would be our CBP, our Border Patrol. They have made it very clear to us that we are visitors in their country and that we have to abide by their rules. And so every time we want to do something, we have to ask them if we can do it. So for example, everything from how many tents we can provide Wi-Fi or not to the food program we do, every single thing has to go through them and through their system. So as far as whether they're providing something, they built some domes that have tents underneath them. They built some concrete showers. They brought in some porta potties. And for the most part, it's the Americans that are providing the daily supplies, the tents, the food, the shelter, everything.
What's the living conditions like?
Well, right now, the living conditions are very challenging because everyone lives in a tent, and we're in the rainy season right now. We've had tents collapse. We've had large tents. The tent that was the dining hall collapse. We've had small tents. So living conditions are really terrible, honestly. When you have to deal with high heat, mosquitoes, torrential rain, mud, there's nothing we really can do to make the living conditions what anyone would call good.
What kind of stories are you hearing then that would make somebody choose to live in these conditions on the border between the United States and Mexico in a tent with a porta potty?
They know that if they return to the country, someone would not be alive today. Some of them will tell us, I had a 14-year-old daughter that was raped by a gang, and they come and do it daily, and there's nothing I can do about it. And so I have my 12-year-old and my 10-year-old and my 8-year-old that are next, because when they turn 14, that's just what happens. So I can't live like that. So I'd rather be here where they're actually alive and safe.
A person who would tell you that story, are they being granted asylum or are they being denied?
We know that some people are trickling down, that their stories, and they have to have evidence. They have to have police records. They have to have pictures. They have to have documentation. It's not just verbal, because they're not going to believe you.
Right.
People that have enough evidence and can fight their case, we know some are winning their asylum case.
We had a young lady, a pregnant young lady that was released, and my husband brought her home from the bus station. She has, I think it was like 6 months pregnant, and she also had like a 4-year-old daughter with her. And at that time, she had been incarcerated with her daughter, and she had a little son that was incarcerated with her husband somewhere else. And she was released, and her 3-year-old son was not released with her husband. So I said, you know, how can you expose yourself to so much? Why? She said, you don't understand. This daughter that I have here that's 4 years old, she watched our next door neighbor get slaughtered with a machete. And she got very worked up as she was telling me this over dinner here at my house. And so stories like that are stories that we hear every day in and day out.
You go over every day, you cross the bridge, you drive, bring food, you bring supplies. How is this all getting funded?
When we started, it was through Facebook. We were just asking friends to donate water, to donate snacks, to donate. That's how we started, like Melba and Andrea talked about. When we first met all together, what I did is I put on Facebook, like on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I said, on Saturday, I'm going to be at Sam's Wholesale Club, and I want people to come and donate. And they did. And my car was full. And we had enough to go across for several weeks. And people started donating items. And a lot of us were spending money from our own pocket to buy tents and cushions and things like that. And then we started a GoFundMe.
How much have you raised?
Mine has gone up to about $58,000.
Wow.
Since then, we became a 501c. And so now we have our own webpage, teambrownsville.org, and we have a donate button there. And we also have a volunteer button.
How many people do you have volunteering right now?
I took over as volunteer coordinator about a year and a half ago. We had up to 30, 40 volunteers a week for a long time, all through last summer, through last fall. People just wanted to come and see and work and participate. They wanted to participate in our escuelita. They wanted to make dinner, to serve dinner. So we were actually getting more volunteers than we actually needed.
And these were people coming from all over the country.
How many people are in this camp right now?
The numbers have kind of fluctuated, so they've actually gone down over the past month or so as people have seen that nothing is happening, that nobody is crossing for appointments. Yeah, we were at 2,000, now we're maybe at 1,200 or 1,500.
And you've had trouble since coronavirus being able to supply everything, or no?
It's been challenging because we need to source everything through Mexico, but we have some contacts in Matamoros that are helping us a lot. And so that's how we're keeping it up.
How do you get the food? Are people literally putting it in the back of their car and driving it across the bridge?
But we have always put it in wagons and walked it across the bridge.
Wow.
It's just the humane thing to do. What Team Brownsville have, the people that volunteer for Team Brownsville are these kind of people that are concerned about humans, about human nature and how people are living. It doesn't matter what color they are or what gender they are, what country they're coming from, what religion. We're not a religion. We're just people that care. We're just people that see a need, and that's what drives us. That's what makes us put things in wagons and take them across in 100-degree weather or when it's raining or when it's cold.
What's the opinion of people in Brownsville, Texas, about immigrants and about people who are on the other side of the bridge?
Brownsville in the valley has always been like a sanctuary city. We're a city made of immigrants. I mean, my mom was immigrated herself, and many of us have a history of our parents, grandparents being immigrants themselves.
How deep of a relationship do each of you have with the migrants in the camps?
So we started, recognizing children by name and providing the school that my wife began.
And we met the parents, and the parents would come to the school, and I don't want you to think it's a school like you think, okay? It didn't have a building. We were just teaching on the sidewalk. And later on, the Mexicans were kind enough to put a tent there. March 15th was the last day that we had face-to-face class. So you need to also be thinking that it wasn't just us. It wasn't just this team. I had 20 to 30 volunteers from all over the country coming to do bilingual lessons, to do ESL, to do art lessons, to do yoga. We started a book club, and the children had to read 10 books per week. We had children starting to write short stories. A lot of the parents would come and sit in the class with the kids, because remember, we had a dirt floor, so we would get tarps and put them there on top of the mud or on top of the sidewalk, whatever it was. And we became close every single day up till today. I get texts from the parents, hey, we ran out of pencils, we need paper. Can you get us a pencil sharpener? So-and-so has a toothache and we need to go to the dentist. And seeing things like that. So how can you say no?
What do you think is their greatest fear if Trump's reelected?
Their greatest fear is not having a fair opportunity to be granted asylum, because right now it's not fair. It's a corrupt system. Not being able to actually have a true court system that will give them the opportunity to fight their asylum case.
They're coming up on what they consider to be their last court appointment before a decision is made. And so with all these pushbacks and the fact that they can't cross and go to their last appointment, it's just causing more and more anxiety. They hear other people's stories about not getting asylum and they wonder if that's what's going to happen to them. They have a lot of faith, honestly.
Right.
They continue to feel like, you know, God is on their side and that somehow they're going to get through this process.
The only way to get through is with faith at this point because they have been treated extraordinarily bad. How can people donate to Team Brownsville, to donate to help the migrants on the other side of the bridge?
TeamBrownsville.org is our webpage. Very simple.
And you can go there to donate, and you can also go there to volunteer.
That's correct. We have a donate button and a volunteer button. And I want you to make sure your listeners know that nobody in Team Brownsville is paid. Everybody is a volunteer. And so all the funds go directly to the asylum seeker. Can I also tell you our other mission is helping at the bus station, because people are still being released from the detention centers to the bus station. A group of 6 young men from Guatemala were dropped off at the bus station very late, 6:37 in the evening, and they couldn't get tickets till the next day. So I picked them up, and this is another thing that Team Brownsville is doing, is providing a hotel room for them, providing dinner for them. And then Mark just went right now to take them back to the bus station, because when they're dropped off there, they're dropped off with any money, with no food, with nothing but what they're wearing.
This is a show about reaching your American dream. Tell me what your American dreams are.
For people to live in peace and to share our gifts with one another.
Equality and justice for all children.
My American dream is freedom and justice for all.
My dream is to wake up tomorrow and for racism to be gone, evaporated from the earth, because I believe that all of this is rooted in racism. And if we just get to know each other, we would realize that there's no difference, that we all bleed the same, we all hurt the same, we all share tears the same.
Thank you very much for coming on. You guys are doing an amazing job down there.
All
Thank
right. Yo-Yo and Vanessa. Yesterday, we did it with a second to spare. 9 questions in 50 seconds. Yo-Yo started yesterday, so let's try to go 2 for 2. No, we're not mixing it up. Are you crazy?
Let's stick to that.
Oh, let's stick to that. I thought you said let's mix it up. I said, what are you, crazy? No way. I don't want to blow up. You ready? Yo-Yo's the leadoff hitter. Let's go.
Can a parent with low income petition a married child?
Yes, but you're going to need an affidavit of support.
After joining the military, can you gain citizenship immediately?
Now you can.
Can my mom apply for a green card in Pakistan?
Yes, why not?
Are they accepting new DACA applications and renewals?
They're accepting renewals, but not new applications.
What's next after they approve I-130?
Either adjust or go to the National Visa Center and wait for a visa appointment.
Can I travel on a visitor's visa while awaiting my interview?
You can, but you may be stopped for immigrant intent.
Can I submit a new I-864 form at the interview if my current sponsor lost his job?
Yes.
Can I retire person sponsor someone for a green card?
Yes.
One more. We just had one more. Brad, you were breathing too long in between.
Yes,
You're
that was
breathing
me.
too long in between.
That was me. That was me. That was me. I will take the blame on that one.
Y'all heard my tongue was. I was reading fast, so
By the way, I am sending you both to Evelyn Woods. Starting, Jill, send them both to Evelyn Woods. You know who Evelyn Woods is? That's speed reading. Speed reading class.
I figured it had something.
Yeah, speed reading class. All right, comments of the day. Oh, wait, before we go comments of the day, we had one more question I didn't answer. What was the last question?
Yeah. If I return to the U.S. with a resident SB1 visa, will I be subject to public charge test?
Yes, you will. Anybody who stays out more than 6 months is.
All right.
All right. I have a comment of the day from Rog J. Roberts, who just goes, LOL, boom. Thanks, Rog J.
Yeah.
LOL,
wow.
boom.
As if we weren't already hurting.
Yes.
First one comes from Monica Stone, and she says, Brad is such a happy person when he has company. He's so much fun to listen to.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. I am a people person. When I'm by myself, I'm like...
Right. All right, guys, our second comment of the day comes from Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, Brad team, you guys make my day. You're addictive. I have to come on to the show early or late because you are family.
Aw, thank you, Carol. She watches every day. She is like a she has been with us since the day one. She's always commenting.
Loyalty.
Always has the nicest things to say. She is a true friend of Brad Show. Carol Anderson, the Tiger. Thumbs up.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yes.
Ready? This one's in reference to Brad's twerking throwback that we brought on this Thursday. It says, LOL, Brad, you just don't have Nicki Minaj's rear.
I don't.
All right. Our last comment of the day comes from Jessica Leamy, Joel Reed, and I love this. It says, nothing or no else matters when Brad is on. He is my just because.
Aww,
I like that.
Jessica Leamy. And just because it is now after 8 p.m. here, Eastern Standard Time in New York City, we are going to say goodbye to everybody, but we promise to be back tomorrow. Have a great night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?